One of the saddest stories in the news this week is the untimely death of Soul Train host and creator Don Cornelius. What a shock it was to hear that a man who was loved by so many people and appeared to have taken his own life. With his smooth voice, he brought black music and culture into America's living rooms at a time when you couldn't see it anywhere else. He introduced us to artists we only heard on black radio. And who can forget the famous Soul Train line that taught us to dance? We'll certainly miss Don Cornelius, but his legacy will continue to live on through those who knew and respected him and those faithful viewers who would stop whatever they were doing every Saturday, likely cleaning up the house, to take the hippest trip in America. Joining us now from Indianapolis, Indiana, to talk about the legacy of Don Cornelius is Don Jackson, founder and CEO of Central City Productions and former Soul Train producer. Radio and TV personality Donnie Simpson and entertainment journalist Jawn Murray. Everybody, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Certainly sad news, but Don, I want to start with you. Don Cornelius, and when you got your Trumpet Award, when he presented you, you told the story that you didn't think this show was going to be successful.
Yeah, you know, we were at WBON Radio back in the late 60s, and we were both frustrated and getting ready to leave, and he said, man, come on, work with me on this show. And I said, well, what's the name of it? He said, Soul Train. I said, man, a show like that will never make it. And I said, so he went his way and I went my way. And then 15 years later, I had a joint venture with the Tribune Broadcasting, and they said, they were syndicating my shows. They said, do you think you could talk to that Don Cornelius fellow and we can syndicate his show? And I said, well, yeah, I know him, but do we really want to do that? Because I was so embarrassed to give him a call. So I called him, and he said, do you remember what you told me when I wanted you to work with me on Soul Train? So he said, yeah, you come on out here. And I came out, and he told me, you know, really, why do I need you? And I had the Tribune and all of their stations, and I showed him that his show at the time,
right,
which had been on for about 15 years, was going into
right,
the losing time periods and advertisers, and we hooked up after that. But yeah, that was the first experience I had.
Don, I didn't know every day. Don was like, dang man, what was I thinking? Donnie,
that's exactly right.
Donnie, talk about just the impact of Soul Train, and I alluded to it. I mean, I'm sorry, if you over 40 years old, you knew either I got all of those chores done before 9 in some markets, or I would get my behind whipped, or I'll be upset because I missed Soul Train.
Yeah, you didn't miss Soul Train. I mean, Saturday morning in my house, that's what we did, man. Like every house, you know, in the country, man. You know, it was just can't miss TV. It was so important because before that, I remember as a kid, you know, running home, we all knew if the Temptations or the Supremes or the Four Tops, whoever was going to be on Mike Douglas that day, because it was so rare that they ever got any of those opportunities, you know. So we would run home, make sure we're in front of the TV at 4 to watch that. But, you know, when Don Cornelius and his mighty, mighty Soul Train came along, you know, you could do it every Saturday morning, man. And that was just obviously very important for us, you know, for me personally, because I feel like he opened a door for me and Video Soul. That without him doing what he did, I may not have gotten a chance to do what I did. But, you know, for entertainers, oh my goodness.
Now, John, also, it was a cultural phenomenon because not only did you actually see black artists, but you saw the clothes black folks wore, you saw the hairstyles, you saw the dancing, and so you saw black expression every week.
Yes, you know, and I'm way under 40 and still could appreciate Soul Train because I, too, wanted to get my chores done and watch the show. It gave black music a face. I mean, it was the show that first gave us Aretha Franklin and Al Green and Barry White. But for my generation, it was the first time I saw SWV and Tyrese and all these other artists. And before Britney Spears and all these pop stars were lip-syncing, they were lip-syncing on Soul Train. Soul Train set the precedent for lip-syncing.
And Don, Soul Train, of course, spanned 35 years. And so I think a lot of people forget that. They only think in terms of the bell-bottoms and afros. But again, a 35-year stretch is a long period of time that covered different musical eras.
Yeah, and only people think about the weekly, but Roland, the Soul Train Music Awards started another trend as the first soul music award show to hit television. And that's when really I was pleased to work on helping launch that show with Tribune. But that was really another phenomena. For so long he had the weekly, but there was never a special music awards show, which he started, and that really took Soul Train, the weekly, even to another level. It was just phenomenal of the precedent that he set, because after that, the Image Awards, NAACP Image Awards came about, BET Awards came about, but he had the first Soul Train Music Awards that hit national broadcast television.
Donnie, talk about that, but also, we talk about for African Americans, but a whole lot of white kids will also checking out Soul Train. And when you look at hip hop, 80% of those who buy hip hop are white kids as well. Frankly, you talk about Motown, but really the window into African Americans, people got opportunity to see it, and that began to impact so many other different cultures.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it. I mean, the roots of the music was black, but the blossoms were all kinds of colors, Everybody, it's music that's for everybody. And once they got exposed to it through Soul Train, they loved it. It's just like Motown, I mean, you're talking about this black happening in Detroit from the black community in Detroit, but it is the music of a generation, no matter what color you are.
And John, real quick, about 20 seconds left, we also got Shalimar,
Jody
as
Watley.
a result of Soul Train.
Absolutely.
They were Soul Train dancers.
Howard Hewitt. and Don mentioned the Soul Train Awards. It became so successful, it had its own spinoff, the Lady of Soul Awards. So talk about an enterprise that just kept rebuilding and rebranding.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, so we're out of time, but I'll say this. What I also appreciate is that Don Cornelius owned this show, because we talk about people who are hosts in somebody else's deal, but being able to own the show is also important as well. So we certainly appreciate it.